G'day and welcome to Max Life for part 2 of the Dark Mut repairs.
So these were the results of the test flight. It didn't go very well, and Murphy is a vindictive bugger and ensured that it went wrong at the worst possible time. And I think I'm just going to replace the FC wholesale and the ESC and just keep the ESC as a spare. Because I've got one and it's newer, it's an F7 and it's nice and shiny, and I can just replace the wiring while I'm at it for the receiver, and we're going to do that.
And here is the test flight, or more precisely, the one in which I managed to replicate the fault. It wasn't exactly straightforward, and I needed to induce some abnormal vibrations, which you can see in a moment, to get the fault to manifest. Which it did, right on Murphy's cue. Anyhow, sit back and enjoy the rest of the flight.
Right, here we are by the sink. Luckily it seems to have just hit here and a little bit up there, but not any in the actual camera itself. A little bit of mud on the lens. And if you've ever had a motor get covered in crap, then you've probably been through this already, where it seizes up and you can, I'm not even trying to really, it'll allow me to turn it with very little effort, that much. So you'll have to clean it. And the good thing about brushless motors, non-censored brushless motors, because the sensors inside brushless motors that are censored can get destroyed and damaged by water. The good thing about non-censored brushless motors that only have the 3 wires going to them, and that's how you can be sure, is that you can get them wet. It doesn't really matter. So you can, excuse my cat trying to get on the side. You can just run water over that. It's no big deal. Oh my gosh. I might even need to try to get the water to loosen up. I think in this case the bell housing, I don't want to force it because you can damage your motor, but I think the bell housing is going to want to come off this, and most of the time you'll have to undo a C-clip or take out a screw to do this. In this case, this one has already fallen off. So, Murphy's vindictive, but he's got a sense of humour. And he's not all that bad. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to... You don't want to get it in the bearings. Just nice rinse.
Oh, there's Kitty. Bit of trouble coming. I'll fast forward through the rest of this and give you a bit of a rundown now. Basically, just keep patiently washing out the motor and stator and bell housings, and until everything's all the mud is gone. As long as you got nice fresh water and you're not using some sort of overly chlorinated water or something like that, or if you are, wash it out with some distilled water after, so there's no corrosion or any build up on it. And just keep doing it until the motor can turn nicely and spin freely, and then you got to dry it out and you're pretty well good to go. Anyway, I'll put a clip of the cat in at the end as a bonus clip.
Right, so now I'm going to change the FC, change the wiring for the receiver, and anything else that comes up, because this baby's going to be reliable and it's going to fly. Okay, so here we are. We've stripped down the quad, and I have a choice to make. One option is to replace the FC with that. I think that's kind of amusing. Sorry. And the other option is to replace the FC with this. And the whole stack. Replace the whole stack. Which means I'll have to put in a VTX as well. What is this? It's the F722. And that is a TX35 25 to 300 milliwatt audio and video transmitter. Had a couple of these lying around, so that's what we're going to use. So it's surgery time. Okay, so here we are with our new bits, and there's some waterproofing that needs doing. There's working out where RX1 is for UART, for the RX for the UART is for 1, because it's got a S-bus PPM. So I'll have to change how my thing's set up, because I just got it run to a UART, because that's what I had available here. And then I've got to figure my plan out. I might put a GPS on this too if I'm going to upgrade to this board. And yeah, but for now I'm going to get on with dismantling this, getting it ready, and put this to the side for the moment. Right, so I've taken off the plastic, opened up the stack for waterproofing, and you can see I've got all the plugs in. So I wanted to make the point, which I've made before, that if it gets in plugs, or there's no SD card slots here, but if it gets in either, it's a nightmare. So put the plugs in, put an SD card in, just in case, put the aerial on, just in case. I'm going to get set up and get these waterproofed. Okay, that's the second coat on all of them. Now let's see how well it is covering it. Okay, so let's have a quick inspection of our waterproofing. I'm going to zoom in for you. Okay. Whoop, spilled a bit. Yeah, that looks good in there. Good and proper. And on the other side. Looks good. I'm going to do a retouch on this one, just here, here. It's just something on the surface. And even with how careful I was, there is some in this plug hole. There's a very small amount, and I don't think it's on the contacts of the USB. And if it is, I'll have to fix it. But, you know, I mean, you saw exactly how careful I was. So, you can testify if you feel the need. Okay, that looks good. Apart from the points I'm just going to touch up. I'll do those off cam, and then we'll get to planning out and putting it all together. So I've stripped everything back so we can do a little bit of planning here and sort of lay out how we think things are going to go in the quad. And here I'm just going to snip this back on. Just push it like that. It's on. I might put some conformal coating down here just to act as an extra glue. And that will want to probably be stacked on top of my stack. There's some interesting bend in that. That's going to go on the top plate. And then I think this will go back where it was. It's quite a rear heavy quad, really. And it's going to leave me with some wiring coming across underneath the stack. I'll try to get these hidden under here somewhere. and then this can do that. It's a little bit harsh. Once it's in, it's okay. However, I think that sits about there. Where's my top plate? There's my top plate. So yeah, sitting about there. Sorry to just get in the way of it. You can see what I'm saying if I put it next to it. You can see where the screws line up. Like that. Okay, so that's that. Now we've got to start putting it all together. And the first thing we need to do, now that we've inspected and got ourselves a bit of a game plan, is start tinning up points and a battery lead. So as you can see here, I've got it just mocked up here. Put the back brace back on. Tightened in this, since that's going to sit up like so. And I just wanted to make sure I had this all laid out in my head. You can see those will attach there. It's over the dot. And the capacitor can lie here. And the radio receiver can go on the other side. And that'll leave a nice little space on top for the VTX. Alright, so I've got the parts set up here to solder up the battery lead to the ESC. And I've got the capacitor stood in there so that the legs of the capacitor are coming through, and we'll go in here and I'll just snip those in due course. So I'll just solder it all in one go. So I'm just finishing up the tinning here, and I didn't think I'd show it all. I've attached the battery leads over here. It's not the prettiest attachment job. I think I need to get a new big work iron. So look, I'm just going to show you this. So if you're coming along and there's some really tight ones, and you get in there and oh, you got both of them. Can you see that there? You got both of them here. What you need to do, clean your tip, wet up a bit with a bit of solder, and then pull back like that, and that'll clear it for you. And there you go. I'm just going to do a few of these other points here, and then I'll get to wiring up the stuff. So here we are, we've got everything ready. I'll put some new longer wires on the receiver. This bad boy has had a cable removed because it's not a smart audio device, so there's no point in having audio. I've tinned up the ESCs, attached the battery wire. I know that looks horrible. That was my attempt to fix it up with the TS80, which was actually going down in temperature as I held it on there. So I've used my larger iron. You can see it's attached here, but I'm going to have to, for want of good practice, get a better iron for a start, and come along and hit these again. Which I'm going to open this quad up again because I'm not going to attach the GPS right now, because I just want to get it up in the air, get it tuned, and get some solid flights out of it before I put the GPS on. But the GPS will go on here. The receiver is going to go to the TX2, UART2, and be mounted back here. And this VTX goes, let me just check this for a second. Yes, the camera goes here, and the VTX will be getting its video feed from here. And I might remove a few wires from here and just power it off the 9-volt ground next to it. So I'll have to tin that up too. Quickly before I start, I'm also going to put the buzzer here.
you see here how there's a slight discoloration. I don't know if you can actually see that. You can see there's not as much reflection around this area here. That's because the heat has affected the conformal coating. I've covered this area again, and I'm just going to cover this again. And it's a good idea to do that if you do solder on something, and heat it up, because it'll bubble up and damage the surface. As you can see here, I've taken off the electrical tape, and I'm now going to attach the motor leads to the ESC. And the way I'm going to do this is by using the extra slack I've got here and placing the quad upside down. And for the motors, I'm just taking the wires as they come, and I'll reverse them in BL heli if I need to. As you can see, getting to the other side of the ECS with the motor wires and the motor's still attached. I've got a bent screw there I need to replace. The reaches, and I can do it, but it's going to be really difficult to film it. What I'm going to do is just bend these over and attach them, and then I'll fold the wires as I want them later on. Okay, that's the motors attached. Blue tack out of there. Blue tack's amazing, you should have some about. Get the wires to do what I want them to do, which I'm still deciding on whether they go to the front or to the back. No, that's a little too long. I'll have to find some other... Oh no, actually I have standoffs. Oh, come on. Static electricity defeating me. I'm just going to put in all these little standoffs, reassemble the stack, put it all back together. And you want to put all of them on before you tighten the stack down, otherwise you'll find it impossible. Alright, so we're at a point for that it's a good time to plug in and check it's all working and flash. So first I'm going to plug in the FC to my computer and flash that. Then I'm going to plug in with the smoke stopper the ESC, and I'm going to flash that and check the motor directions. I won't film all that, I'll just come back when it's when it's put back together. So the quickest way to test the motor directions is to power it up and try spinning the motors up in Betaflight. So I am gonna do that now. Nervous moment. It's always a nervous moment, this. Good so far. And she goes to Betaflight. And connect. And go to motors. And stand. Hey. Two of my motors aren't spinning. That's not good. Okay, I better check what's going on. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, I've stuffed it. Well, at least that's what I thought. I was about to try a new ESC, and then I thought maybe I'll try it on Dshot 600.
Well, apparently it doesn't support Dshot 1200. It only runs 2 motors when you run it on Dshot 1200. Alright, so we have some bloomin' working motors and woo! Happy days. Okay, so get my head back to where it was, and wait, hold on. No, I don't want to unplug. Connect. Radio. Receiver. Have we got some input?
After a normal FC setup in Betaflight, the ESC was a little bit more challenging.
Okay, right, well that was interesting. I've never used BL Heli Suite before because I've never had a BL Heli 32 ESC. So I just had to wrap my head around that. It's actually not too bad, a little less user friendly with quotation marks than the configurator, but still pretty good. I like that program. It was easy to use once you just sort of looked around a little. So now I've flashed the FC, I've flashed the ESCs, we've got a setup and mode configured receiver. All there is left to do is to put it back together, clean the camera lens, and give it a test flight. So I'll slap it all together. Okay, props are on, and I've re-taped up the motor wires to protect them from the props, and it's time for a test flight. Right, well, that was the test flight and it went pretty well. I've got some tuning to do. Definitely got some tuning to do there. And my rates have to go in, and I've got the GPS here ready to go in. I'll have to print up a thing for it to be mounted on the top here. But that's great. Happy days. More flying to come.
Thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content. Wish everyone the best out there in these hard times, and I hope you enjoy the bonus clip. Have a great day.
She likes to drink the water from the tap. Can you see that? There we go, little nose in there. She's hilarious. I'll just capture that for you. I think she got this from me brushing my teeth. Absolutely hilarious, right? Okay, well, I suppose it's not a problem, just... Nope, not a problem. No worries. Here, buddy. Oh, me, I know. She thinks that she can do.